I'm so excited about this trip. It has been like 7 years since I've been up this way. The last time I was up here was in my minivan and I was having a bunch of issues, and the road to where I really wanted to go was washed out and it was going to be months until it was fixed. So I obviously didn't go where I'm hoping to go this time. But I just pulled over to make a coffee to fuel the rest of my drive. It is a wet and dreary day. I'm expecting the weather to be like this for the next 2 weeks, but it's also really beautiful and I'm excited to find just all the beauty in the wet North Island. So I'm very excited, very, very excited. But yeah, I got some driving to do. Well, I am here in the northernmost town on Vancouver Island. Well, we got in, it's like 4:35, so I'm gonna find somewhere to park around here and enjoy some cell phone service for one last night before we are out of service for quite a while. Tomorrow we're gonna take off and head down the back roads, places I've never been before. I'm super excited to go explore. There's definitely some danger involved, but I will talk more about that probably tomorrow. Hey, bud. So I did some poking around and I found this great place to park. I'm so excited about it. I think it's going to be really quiet tonight and dark. Quiet and dark, which are things I really appreciate in a camp. There's no signs right where I am saying no overnight parking, no camping. But I am on the edge of boundaries of land management units that do not allow that within them. But there's no rule about it in the parking lot. And if somebody comes, I will just apologize and move on. So I just pulled over here at a rec site to use the outhouse. I am on my way out to the northwest coast of Vancouver Island. I'm very excited because I've never been in this area before. This is all new to me, but there are some dangers to be aware of and take into consideration. One being the wildlife. I will talk about that later. But the other one is the roadways. These are active logging roads. When a logging truck is loaded, they are very heavy. They do not want to get out of your way. They do not stop quickly. They know these roads well and they're going very fast. So you want to be especially aware of them. But also you're going to see a lot of like white work trucks out here. They also move quite a bit faster than you want to. They're not paying for the suspension on those vehicles. I'm dawdling along in my van, taking good care of it, enjoying the views, and grooving to some music. So I make sure to keep a really close eye on my side view mirror because if anyone comes up behind me, I want to know right away. I don't want to be holding them up. I'm going to get out of their way as soon as possible and let them pass. This is important for two reasons. One, they're on the job. Like maybe they don't want to be out here. You don't need to make their day harder. But two, there's no phone service out here at all. So if something happens, they're the people that I'm going to hope will stop and help me. So if I piss them off earlier in the day, that really reduces my chances of getting any assistance. So I do have an InReach with an active subscription, so I am able to call for help if I really need it. But more important than that is I'm prepared with a lot of things that might come in handy if I need to help myself. The goal is always self-rescue first, or to deal with things on your own or find a way to work it out. And if absolutely needed, then call for help. So yeah, just really important to pay attention out here and be respectful. Yeah. See, they appreciate us taking them into consideration. just made the laziest lunch. Like a tortilla and tofu and this like smoky chipotle nutritional yeast dressing and dip. It looks so good. I got that in Victoria. It's made in Mill Bay, so not far from Victoria. I'm just like so hungry and I just wanted tortilla and sauce, but I had to put something else in it, so the tofu. My van is a complete disaster inside. I'm in the middle of a massive rearrangement, but I've heard the rain let up, so now is the perfect time to go check out this beach. Oh, and these are for if there's sea garbage at the beach, because it comes from across the Pacific. We can put the sea garbage in here and then later somebody will come haul it out, which is really nice. I've spent a lot of time on the southwest coast of the island, and there you look across and you see the Olympic Peninsula. But here on the northwest coast, if I look straight ahead, the next piece of land I'm gonna get to is Japan. Like, Hawaii's to the south, the Aleutian Islands are to the north. Like, there is nothing between me and Japan right now. It's just like the hugest ocean. Well, the break in the rain did not last long. Frank says it's gonna get really bad and he wants to go back to the van. So I've done my civic duty for the day, picked up a handful of garbage. Gonna pop it in that bag and then go back and continue what we were doing in the van. Okay, well, we're wet. Frank's in the front seat. He's really good about that. When we get in the van from outside, he pretty much always just goes straight to the front seat, but he does know the command to go front. So if he has any doubt, I just tell him go front and he goes to the front. And then that way, just like most of the water and dirt comes off of him on his bed up there, which dries easily from the heat when we're driving. And unfortunately back here I have a leak and my pillow's all wet. So I have to deal with that, and then the rest of my van is pretty bad. The nice thing about having a heater is that when I turn it on, if I hang this stuff in the right place, it will all be dry by tomorrow. So the thing is, with bears and cougars and other wild animals, is they're most scary when you haven't encountered them. And the more you've encountered them, the less scary they become because you learn to understand them. I am not a wildlife educator, and I don't want to be responsible for anyone else's actions or behavior when they're out in the forest, but I trust myself to make the right decision. Like, I'm comfortable with me in the woods encountering wild animals, and I've had enough experiences to know that it's reasonable to trust myself to respond accordingly. And I'm also fully aware of how bad things can go, and I accept that when I go out. Like, I understand there's a chance that I encounter a bear or cougar that's not gonna act like any of the other ones I've encountered, and that my response won't be the correct one, or that it just has a death wish out for me and it ends up eating me. Like, I fully accept that. Like, I'm okay with that when I go out in the woods, but that hasn't happened. I've had dozens and dozens and dozens of encounters with wild animals that could kill me, and I'm still here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I actually don't need any warnings about bears or cougars ever. It's completely not helpful, and I also don't want to be the one who's educating you on what you should do if you encounter them or how to avoid them. I think that if bears and cougars are something you're worried about, then you should take steps to keep yourself safe. Look at how wet you are. You're so cute. You were right though. It started coming down really hard, Frank. You were right, okay? Do you want me to put the heat on? I'll put the heat on for you, bud. Frank gave me this look of absolute betrayal as I left the van. But I'm heading down to the beach just quickly to do a bit of a cleanup. So I brought this down. I'm gonna fill it with garbage, mostly plastic. Most of the garbage on the beach is plastic. Gonna fill this up, dump it in the thing, and then I'm gonna take him to a different beach. So he will get his beach time, he will get his walk. It's just that there are actually a lot of wolves in this area, and it's one of the densest cougar populations in the world. Vancouver Island is one of the densest cougar populations in the world, but up here in the north, even more so. So that means if I have him out, I have to keep a very, very close eye on him, and I keep him very, very close to me. And because he's slow, it makes it really hard to like run around the beach and collect garbage. So I figure, since I want to collect garbage, I'll just do that first without him, and then I can move around freely, and then take him to do something fun where it's me and him and I'm paying attention and keeping him safe, because I don't want anything to happen to him. Okay, so no beach cleanup today. That was amazing. Before I broke out of the trees, I heard something down on the beach, so I stopped to watch, to take a look at what could be making noise. And that is what bear safety is all about, being bear aware, knowing there's bears where you are, knowing, especially when they're very likely, like feeding on the ocean as the tide is out, and then being aware and like keeping a lookout for them and seeing them before they see you. I just spent like 5 minutes crouched there watching it. So exciting. Wanted to get out of there before it could have a chance to see me. And we're gonna go to a different beach now. Who knows what will happen. So I'm all loaded up for the afternoon at the beach, and we are making our way down. I have Frank on a leash, which is pretty uncommon for me, but it's not that I'm worried about him running after anything, because I'm not. What I'm worried about is that he stops to smell something and I carry on ahead, and then we're separated by what would be a considerable distance in this thick forest. So we're taking our time, we're going slow. I brought stuff to be comfy and snacks. This is amazing! Are you stoked, bud? Yes! I love to see you happy! I saw this blue thing from down the beach, and I was hoping it might be like a tarp or something to give us shelter from the wind, but it's this net, and it's so comfortable. Yeah, it's really nice. It's got a great view, and the shelter from the wind is decent, so I think we're gonna hang out here for a little bit and just relax and let Frank rest. But yeah, it is wild out here. It feels so incredibly remote. It's like a 2-hour drive to town, an hour walk back to the van. I think what I like most about it is that I'm on my own. Like, I have to be responsible for myself and my actions, and I have to live with the consequences of them. And I like that. I like that feeling of personal sovereignty. For tea, I brought rose tea that I made with rose petals I picked last spring. For safety, I have my inReach with me because there's no phone service out here. So I have my inReach whenever I'm somewhere where there's no phone service. I also have the bear spray that I found on the road last year And I brought a knife, a rather large knife, because I am in wolf country and they say if wolves attack, you should fight back. So I'm ready to fight back and defend me and Frank if need be. Well, it is not the most pleasant day out here. It is really windy and it's getting colder, and I think there's about to be some like really bad weather because it's a couple hours till dark, but it's growing darker. So that tells me it's time to go. He was extremely muddy after our walk, but I just washed him off in those puddles there, got the thick of the mud out, and now he is taking care of the rest. Chip. There you go. Good job today, Frank. We're rocking it. I think this is the absolute best part of van life, is going for a hike, enjoying somewhere really remote and wild, and then when you hike back to your vehicle, bam, you're home, you're comfortable, you're home, you have snacks, you just can chill out in your living room and watch the mist collect on the front window. It's gorgeous. I think the best thing. So I've made a quick and easy soup for dinner. It's just udon noodles and a chana masala pack with some extra water. So I'm just letting that cool off a bit before I eat it. But today was super awesome. I enjoyed it very thoroughly. Watching the bear at the beach was so good. And then the hike down to this beach was really neat. The forest was just so like thick and gnarly and wet, very muddy, but definitely worth the experience being down at that beach where there's just like layer upon layer upon layer of waves just crashing and just one huge roar coming off the ocean and then the wind. So it was pretty intense. I really enjoyed it, but I've actually saved the best clip for last. Frank came across a giant buoy down at the beach, and yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. So I'm gonna say goodbye. I hope you enjoy that clip. Please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I really appreciate you watching. I'm gonna pack up now for the next adventure, which is why we've come out here. I've just been waiting on a weather window, and I think that's gonna start tomorrow. So yes, I'm excited, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Eat it. Big boy, Frank. If you enjoyed this video and you're looking for more to watch, maybe check out this playlist. It'll take you back to the very beginning where Frank also plays with another big boy, and you can watch all the episodes in order. Or check out this one where we met up with our friend Foresty for the first time to climb a mountain.